Welcome to today's meditation time. We are still in this week of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday and have this theme of how to foster peace in different parts of our lives. And so today, our theme and our idea of how to apply peace is in the world of our relationships. So let's all just get comfortable wherever you are. Let's just find a comfortable seat or a comfortable lying down. Not to the point that your body is just too relaxed, but that you do feel good and that you don't feel restless. So just get into a position that works for you. And once you're there, I would invite you to close your eyes. Don't squeeze them tightly, just gently close them. And let's just start to breathe together. Just slowly inhaling and slowly exhaling. And inhaling together and exhaling. And breathing in and breathing out. And then you just continue with a calm, soothing rhythm of breath that works for you. And from wherever you are in your home or in this space that we're sharing together, I would invite you to think for this first just moment about the relationships in your life. Don't categorize them as good or bad or the best or the whatever. Don't set them into degrees and compare them to one another. But just kind of let your mind just go through this little roll of film and just think, with whom do I have relationships? Some of those may be casual. Some of those may be very formal, maybe at work. Some are your most intimate, close people in your life. Some may be estranged, and they used to be strong relationships, and maybe now they're not, for whatever reason. Some relationships, like your family, are not ones that you've chosen, but they're still relationships. So just let that, like I said, the roll of film, just let it kind of go through your head and just see all the different relationships that you have in your life. And so we're going to turn our attention for our focus this time that we have together to the simplicity of Winnie the Pooh. I have a mindfulness book that Winnie the Pooh's quotes are in. And I think the thing that really draws me to this text every now and then is the simplicity of it. You know, Winnie the Pooh was a simple bear. His whole character, everything about him was just simple. But when you connect the idea of this character to the idea of being mindful and intentional, it helps us know that too is pretty simple. It's not something that's complex or something that's hard for us to discover. It's very, very simple if we'll allow it to be. And so there's a quote in this mindful book of Winnie the Pooh's that says, "Today, I'll be the best friend I can be to everyone I see, but that includes me." So as I asked you to think about this roll of film of these relationships, I wonder how many of us saw our own face across all the other faces. Because his words have a lot of power. And what we realize when we think about it for just a few seconds is that our relationships with others and how healthy they are or not is really dependent on our relationship with ourselves. So I'd like our time together in these few minutes that we have to be first and foremost about this relationship. The one with me, the one that you have with you. And then once we spend just a few minutes taking care of us, we're going to shift and bring that peace to those relationships that are outside of us. And so you just continue to breathe nice, slow inhales and exhales. And as you do, just listen to these words. It says, without accepting and having a kind attitude toward ourselves, it's really difficult to care and be compassionate toward others. Nurturing a relationship with yourself will make you more available for a relationship with others. And so from wherever you are, let's just continue to breathe. But I'd like you to imagine this incredible clear crystal right in the center of your chest. right at your heart center. Maybe it's this beautiful clear quartz, just whatever you imagine when you think of a clear crystal, you can see right through it. And I want you to see that clear crystal as your true nature. It is pure and it is good. It's been with you since the beginning. Sometimes our attitudes and our actions get a little off course, but our true nature is good and is authentic and beautiful as much as that crystal that you're seeing right now. So just say to yourself, my nature is goodness. My nature is goodness. And if you are like me and like most people in the world, as soon as you say things like that, doubt sets in. Negative self-talk starts to get louder. And you think of all the reasons that you're not good. But I would like for you in this moment to let that clear crystal that you're imagining in your chest begin to take in any negativity that you see or you feel about yourself. And so again, just saying to yourself, my nature is goodness. And if doubts come into your mind, just imagine that they're floating in and just sticking right there in the center of that clear crystal. And as I say to you again, my nature is goodness. And you start to think of all the mistakes that you've made, let the mistakes settle right here into this crystal in the center of your chest. And then when I say to you that your nature is goodness, and there's this gnawing sense in your stomach that reminds you of the failures that you've had in the past, let them too come right here to the center of your chest, to that beautiful clear crystal. And then keep just imagining it. See it in your mind's eye and realize it's still clear. It's still good. It's still incredible. Because even when those things come into us, they don't change our true nature. We've been conditioned by society and eventually conditioned by ourselves to think that when we mess up and we fail, that the goodness of our nature shifts. But I'm here to tell you, it does not. So as you imagine all of those mistakes and all of those things coming in, that clear, incredible crystal never changed. And neither does your nature of goodness. So just imagine that same clear, beautiful crystal now begins to illuminate the light of you out into the world. Your true nature is projected. It comes in the way that you care for others. It comes in the way that you are kind. It comes in the way that you are patient and gracious. It doesn't mean we are perfect, but it means that our true nature is goodness. And so let's just sit for this next moment before we shift our view and think about our relationships. Just sit. And if any of those negative thoughts come in and any of those reminders of mistakes, you just let them settle right there at that crystal, and then you realize it never alters who you are. Just take long, slow, deep breaths in and long, slow, deep breaths out. One more. Long breath in and a long breath out. And then let's just continue to sit, and we're going to shift our focus to the relationships. It may not be all of the faces that you saw in the very beginning. Maybe it will just be the most important ones. Maybe it'll be ones that you're having a little issue with. But what I'd like to do is still imagine that same incredible crystal inside of you, your true nature of goodness. And then as you picture the relationships that you have, imagine which of those folks are struggling right now. Some of them you may know their story, some you don't, but you just suspect that they're struggling. Some of them are hurting by their own doing or the doing of others. Some of them are just unhappy. Some of them are in physical pain. And what we can do once we discover and we tap into the true nature of goodness that we each possess, we can actually begin to manifest things that are different for the people in our lives. So just imagine all the suffering, all the pain, all the unhappiness that those people in your lives have. Imagine those things coming right into that same crystal at the center of your chest. It doesn't mean you're taking on their burdens. It doesn't mean that you're letting all of this come into your space. Just imagine it settling right into that same area where that beautiful clear crystal is. So that as you project out, what they feel from you is peace. And all this means is you're holding space for them. For just a split moment in their lives, they can let the burden go, the worry, the pain, the suffering, whatever it is. Because when you interact with them, they catch a glimpse of the incredible goodness that is your nature. They catch a glimpse of the peace that you foster and nurture every time you sit down on that cushion or on that couch for meditation. And for just a moment, they don't define themselves by the bad. They catch a glimpse of their true nature by seeing yours. And friends, that is how we create peace in our relationships. We don't create peace by hoping that our husband will change and that our kids will get their act together, or that our siblings will not be selfish and that our boss will appreciate all the things we do. Those are such external things, and they would all be so nice. But that's not how we get peace in our relationships. We get it by being the source of peace. So let's just sit together for these last couple minutes that we have. I know that's a lot to think about, and it puts a lot of pressure on us if we're not careful. But all it's really asking us to do is believe in the nature of us, and that it is good, and that it truly projects peace. So let's just sit, breathing in the belief that our nature is goodness, and breathing out the incredible honor of holding space for the people in our lives. Breathing in, believing our nature is good, and breathing out and feeling the incredible awe that it is to hold space for someone. And let's just sit here in the quiet and let those thoughts just sit with you as they will sit with me, one breath at a time. I hope that you can hear the sound of that singing bowl, and all it took was one strike, and the vibration continues on and on and on. It is the most beautiful example of that same thing that happens with us. The peace within us is felt even after we are gone. We leave a little part of us with each communication that we have, with each relationship that we interact with and nurture and develop. The way to bring peace to our relationships begins by bringing peace to ourselves. Reconciling this friendship, this relationship we have with us, and then finally believing that our true nature is goodness. And that beautiful clear crystal represents us. And no matter how much stuff comes in, it is still clear and it is still beautiful. Let that be how you look at your relationships in the coming days. And then just see how things begin to shift. You'll notice you're not waiting for someone to change or fix themselves any longer. What you're noticing is unconditional love and acceptance. And then all of a sudden, they want to do better. They want to have more glimpses in their own life of the things that you're showing them in yours. Peace in our relationships starts with peace in us. And eventually from there, it will create peace in our world. Namaste.